1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Out there, Guitar Land, Mike Henning here, coming to you today with the old classic gospel song, Cryin' Holy Unto the Lord in the key of A. For me, I always think of the classic J.D. Crowe version, J.D. Crowe in the New South with Tony Rice and Ricky Skaggs. The Rounder 0044 record, I think it was on. So definitely check that record out if you haven't. We're going to work on 2 solos for this song. Kind of an intermediate level lesson, but I think advanced beginner could get this one with some practice as well. The first solo, we're going to stay pretty close to the melody. And then for the second solo, we're going to add some kind of bluesier elements, which is something that J.D. Crowe and Tony Rice would do a lot in their solos, right? They might add some of those bluesy elements later on in a second or third solo. It's a really fun and exciting way to differentiate between your solos, which is really cool. So I'm going to break down both the solos note for note, just like I played exactly at the beginning of the video. And then for the backup section, we'll go over the chords. The chords are pretty easy, but we'll kind of go over some bass walks, kind of some more advanced bluegrass rhythm stuff you can do for this song. We'll break that down in the backup lesson as well. All right, here's Cryin' Holy Unto the Lord in the key of A. All right, so let's start breaking down this verse for Cryin' Holy Unto the Lord. Remember, we've got our capo on the 2nd fret. We're thinking in the key of G, but it's going to sound like the key of A. Let me play like the first 9 measures. That's like halfway through the verse, and then we'll start breaking it down measure by measure. Here we go. Do that a couple times. I'll do it really slow. 1. Do it one time even slower. 1. Up to speed. Okay, so let's start with the pickup. We're going to do our classic G run pickup. So I like doing this because a lot of times, again, when you go to take a solo, you're going to be actually coming from backup, right? You might play that G, D ending phrase, and then you have your G run here, right? So that it's a nice way to lead into the solo because that's where you'd play that G run if you were playing rhythm anyway. So that's what we're going to do for our pickup for this solo. So we're going to start on beat 2, the open A string, 5th string, and then a 1-2 hammer-on with an upstroke, and then upstroke D string, and then downstroke 2nd fret. You can also do a slide if you wanted to. I like doing the hammer-on though in this case, and I'm using my first 2 fingers. So we have 1, and then you hit the open 3rd string to end it, right, which is the G note. So you can hear how it ends. So you have 1. You can actually loop it. Make sure you keep this finger anchored down so when you hammer on, you don't lose that. Don't hammer on too quick too, that's a common beginner mistake. So that's what we're going to do there. So you count 1. Or if you're coming from rhythm, you could hit this low 3rd fret, right? And then you'd have... And that's how you'd start the solo. Okay? And then that's into measure 2. And then you just keep your second finger down on that 2nd fret. And we're going to slide from 2 to 5. Which is just filling up that melody note of the open 3rd string. So we have... And then we hit the open 3rd string again. Pretty easy. So our right hand's just going down, down, down. Which is another thing I do a lot at faster tempos, is use slides and hammer-ons, because then you can do less picking with your right hand, which is easier at a faster tempo. So we have... And then we're going to do an open 2 hammer-on on the 3rd string. And then you go back to open. So you have... You loop it. Put those together, we have 1. Keep this finger down. Alright, that's into measure 2, and then another open 2 hammer on, this time on the 4th string. And then kind of setting up the next melody, which we're going to slide up, right? So we're going, we kind of start with that open 3rd string melody. Now we're going to slide from 2 to 4, hit the open 2nd string, same note if you're in tune hopefully, and then a little bouncing picking down up, and then back to the open 2nd string. Again, just filling up that measure with picking. And then move your hand back down, and we're going to do another 2-4 slide up. You're going to slide up, and then go kind of like a little lick. So you slide up, you do 3, 5, 3, open, and then 2nd fret down here on the 3rd string. That's a lick I use a lot, so it's kind of a nice little G lick. Nice use of that open B string here, right, to get back down. Use that open string to travel. That's actually going to go into a C chord there, so we play a little lick. Even though you just see the open 3rd string here, kind of pretend you're going into your full C there, okay? And then we're going to do open 2, hammer on the 3rd string, or 4th string, excuse me, 4th string. And again, I kind of keep my 1st finger down on this 1st fret, 2nd string up here, kind of implying that little C. That's nice. So I go, I basically put it down right here. Kind of helps me do this hammer on as well. And I do picking back and forth, so that's measure 6. Again, think in your C chord there. We're playing out a chord shape, so we slide up. We're basically sliding up here into this, which is essentially your G, F chord shape, moved up, which is, remember, really an A, but we're thinking in G. So connect these chord shapes in your mind. We're sliding up. So that's basically just sliding up into this shape. We're using a different finger, right? That's the opening melody. And then we slide up again into this shape, right? That's measures like 4, and then we slide up again and play a little lick. Again, that's out of this shape. And then we land in a C. So think in your chord shapes. That's really going to help you if you get lost or get in trouble too. Now you're in a shape that's safe, right? So that's really important. So we have... Also having this finger down will help with like the harmony, so it doesn't kind of sound like an E minor, right? You want it to sound like a C there. So you have... And then measure 7 stays on the C. And then I use my 3rd finger here, kind of implying that C7. And then open D. And then a G run again, same opening. Right? Perfect little spot for a fill. So let's play measure 6 through, that's the end of the beginning of 9. So we have... Notice I'm using my 3rd finger here. And then my 2nd finger, again, I'm keeping out of that C shape. So that's like implying a quick little C7, right? So you have, let's do 6 again. We have... loop it. So start measure 9 becomes the beginning of measure 6. All right, so let's play those first 8 measures into the beginning of measure 9. Here we go.